limitless in his approach to advocate for young black men. Certified life coach and founder of the youth empowerment organization All the King's Men, Kevin, Uncle Kev Gold, has established himself as a beacon of influence, seeking to inspire the minds of young black men everywhere. And with his I Write to You 30-day challenge, it's just another example of him putting in the work for the youth, giving them a space to speak to the things that are most intricate to their healing process. Mr. Kevin Gold is definitely what's good in South Jersey.
Kevin, what's going on with you, man?
What's up, bro? How are you?
Man, I'm doing real good. I'm excited to talk to you today, man, because you got something going on that's like really, really, really valuable. And I just want to talk to you. Tell me, what is I Write to You? What the heck is that I Write to You 30-day challenge? What's that about, bro?
So it legitimately came to me while I was just resting in my bed a couple weeks ago. I wanted to reconnect with my writing and wanted to, I guess, figure out a way to tap into the things that I like most often try to escape from. But I wanted to like authentically heal from spaces that were keeping me like bound. And I thought about journaling as I keep maybe 3 or 4 journals next to my my bed, and I thought about, okay, what if you get back into this, and what does this mean? And legit, while I was laying there, thought about the concept. Hey, if you're gonna journal, invite other people to do that with you, right? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And I remember maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I participated in the journaling challenge. That wasn't one of my own, and I couldn't find, it was called Note to Self, and I couldn't find the person who began that platform, because I was just literally going to see if she had it done and like join in again or whatever. But like literally, I believe God spoke to me and said, create the space, right? Wow. Create the space. And I was literally just laying there, and I was thinking of what to call it. Like, what would I do? Like, I can't just say, ask people to journal with you. What does that mean? And I Write to You came to mind. Like, write to these things, speak to the things that are most intricate to your healing process, right? And so I called it I Write to You. And before I knew what the 31 days would look like, I reached out to a graphic designer and said, hey, can you create this thing for me? Like, what does like the look of it? And she was like, sure. Went along with it. And as I'm sending her information about what I wanted it to look like, the feeling started to come up. So I was like, okay. So day 1 to day 31 all came in a matter of minutes. Like, and wow. as I'm thinking about it, I was like, God, whatever this is meant to be, just allow people to heal from it. So that's exactly what I Write to You is. It's a 31-day journaling challenge, purposely designed for people to heal. Ooh. And I figured, some people don't necessarily know how to give voice power and to use their voice to heal. So writing tends to do that. And I know it does that for me. So why not share that same experience with other people and allow them to find their healing in their writing too? So that's exactly what the next 31 days, hopefully and prayerfully, will do for all participants. Allow them to write to their healing and speak to their healing in such a way that is intimate.
All about the intimacy for me, man. I'm all about it, man. It's all about finding that space where you can just stop and just be vulnerable as you can be. However, talk to me about what happens when you write, that you want to share this with so many people, because when you write, that's a level of intimacy and a level of healing. Why do people need to be healed? Like, how can you tell if somebody need to be healed?
I remember when I think I was in like 9th grade, and I had experienced, I dealt with a lot of trauma as a kid. Like, I was bullied, and I had no way to express that, right?
You too smart to be bullied. Hold on, wait a minute. Hit the pump brakes real quick. Nah, ain't nobody bully you.
I was bullied from 3rd grade to 9th grade every day, every single day, every day. That's another story for another time, but that happened to me. And I remember I had a green spiral 1-subject notebook, And one day I came home from school and I wanted to cry and I didn't. And I was like, I picked up a notebook and I just started to brain dump. I put all of my feelings on paper and it had no direction. Like I didn't sit down intentionally to write to a thing. I just knew I had feelings that I needed to get out and nobody would listen to me. If I spoke them, probably wouldn't believe me because just like you didn't, like, there's no way this is that. Yeah. So I felt that way. So I just wrote to it and it became therapy for me. And as I write, even now as an adult, I think about that initial moment as a kid. Like, what did writing free me of in those moments? And I use that as an influence. And as I'm writing, I'm not writing for a solution. I'm writing to free myself of whatever it is that's going on in my mind at the time. So I'm not writing with the understanding that when my pen makes the last period and I close the notebook, my problem will be solved. But as I'm writing, I'm allowing myself to feel and I'm allowing myself to express myself in a way that if I was to speak it, I wouldn't have to worry about whether or not people would believe or understand. But the words itself has power. So that one day, if I have another feeling at 34 that I had when I was 16 or 14 or 13, I can go back and reflect on what it was to write in that moment and then write to it again. And this time understanding the level of growth and maturity that occurred from the times of those experiences in the past. So yeah, that's what writing does for me. It's therapy. It allows me to say the things on paper that I'm afraid to say out loud.
Would you say your writing is sacred? Or can it be shared with others?
At one point it was, because like I said, I would say the things to myself on paper that I wouldn't necessarily say in a conversation with someone else. More so because I felt no one would be interested in hearing what I had to say. So if I just wrote to myself, it was like me brain dumping to another person. But as I progressed in life and matured in life and experiences happen, there's no sense in writing or speaking for the sake of you just freeing yourself. I've learned through experience that what I have to say could benefit someone else's healing process, right? So it's sacred in the moment as it's allowing me to live in the moment and get it out. But the moment I'm finished, I'm looking for ways to share those feelings with someone else who may be going through the same thing and doesn't know how to express that and don't know if they have the space or opportunity or the ears to listen to the truth about that experience for them. So that's what my writing is for.
It makes me think of yoga and some people's relationships because that's another intimate space, I think. Yeah. I'm not really good at yoga, but I just know people that go all the time. Like they know, for example, Thursday, that's my yoga day. Don't bother me. 6 o'clock, I'm going over here because it does something to them. It's a level of tranquility and just that I think there's another space of intimacy that's created.
It's a secret place.
Yeah, how about that? How about that, right? Yeah. I'm so interested in you in this challenge. Tell me about the people, because you've told people already, right? Today's actually the first day that's kicking off. And tell me how many people has signed on to this.
Whew. So ironically enough, before I signed on, I just checked the page, the Facebook group page, and there are almost 200 members on the Facebook page. That's aside from the people who are on Instagram who's shown interest, and aside from the texts and calls that I've received of people who want to join. So I would say if I had to do a ballpark number, every bit of 300 has committed. There are over 764 shares on Facebook. So at least 764 people saw the flyer and shared it, which means they're probably double that amount who've actually saw it. So
people out here want to write, huh?
Even if they don't want to write, they know the benefit of it and want people to see that it's something out here for them to express themselves. And that's the beauty in it for me. Like, I remember like I spoke to you yesterday, and I was like, I never expected this to go where it's going. Like I really only thought maybe 5 or 10 people, close friends, would partake in it. Like I remember only sending it in a text message to maybe 10 people. Like I wasn't even going to post a flyer. That's how I and I'm gonna go as far as saying like that's how much I guess doubted the strength in it.
Wow.
But it has literally taken on a life of its own, and it's the most beautiful thing that I've experienced so far in a long time in terms of something that I produce to give out to the world. So, oh man, to God be the glory.
Amen to that. And this is so cohesive too. This is like a well thought out plan, whether you realize it or not, whether that was the intention or not, because out of the 30 days, there are days assigned. It's not just open writing. It's just like something like with intention. So let's go in for the first day. The first day, we're supposed to be journaling about the heart. Talk to me about your intention. What do you mean when you're concerning the heart and writing about it?
So I think in my experience, not just as an educator, but as a mentor and a life coach, when you're talking to people about things that matter most to them, I think you are always or should always intentionally deal with the matters of the heart first. What a lot of people don't understand is that, or don't really know how to process, are the things most intricate to the heart. And that's where we store a lot of stuff, right? We store a lot of things, feeling, expression, heartache, pain, all of those things we usually store in the heart first, right? So if you deal with the matters of the heart first, you allow yourself to not only sit in the truth of what it holds, but to start to unpack some of the heaviness, some of the burden, some of the weight that lives there. So when I ask you to write to the matters of the heart, I'm asking you to understand like the condition of your heart and speak to that. So it's either a letter to your heart, dear heart, and you talking to the heart like it's one of your homies, right? But freeing yourself from the things that you've kept captive there for so long. But you're also free to express what's on your heart. So you're not restricted to just writing to your heart, but expressing what's on your heart. Hey, I'm sitting in this today, and this is weighing heavy on my heart, so I want to speak to that. Write to it. So yeah, if you deal with matters of the heart first, you allow yourself to speak to the truth of what sits there and to start to unpack for the mere sake of freeing yourself, freeing your heart, releasing your heart of the burdens and the weight that it carries.
That's scary, Kev.
It is, and that's why it's the first one. Because if you can cross the scariest hurdle first, the rest of the journey is cake.
Okay. Okay.
And it's not that the other 30 days are just like small things. No. If I can make the scariest leap first and get the matters of the heart taken care of first, address the matters of the heart first, then I see how easy the process can become. But if I don't deal with those matters and I just skate over it, then I make the rest of the process difficult.
Yeah, so you got to deal with yourself. You got to deal
It's just like a relationship with God. If I let him into my heart first, everything else about my being becomes a little more free. And
Wow.
I give him a little more space to do more work. So if he starts with the heart and the matters of the heart, then he gets into my mind and gets into my soul and gets, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't want to get.
All right, well, listen, Pastor Gold,
Not
came
even.
with a word this morning? You came with a word? Nah, but shoot, every bit of what you're saying, man, is so true, man. It's ringing so true. So, okay, see, this is start out here. See, he's starting with the heart. He's coming strong. First step. Okay, so let's transition from the heart to the mind, because that's day 2. So what's going on with writing or journaling about your mind? Because that is like a black hole. I'll just speak for myself because I can get sucked into so many different thoughts, man.
See? Yep.
So,
and that's exactly what that is. Like sometimes when you don't take care of the heart, it fosters thoughts that don't have to exist. So if you deal with the matters of the heart first, then you free your mind and you allow your mind to like process thought a little more differently. So just as day 1, you're speaking to the matters close to the heart, day 2, you're freeing your mind. And what I see it for me being is a brain dump. I just write about whatever crosses my mind in no specific sequential order, no specific outline, just literally what I'm gonna eat for dinner today. I can't have that. I committed to no carbs the whole month of October.
Amen.
and then that goes from thinking about, okay, if I committed to no carbs and boom, 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 health, wellness, mental freedom, stability. I love my daughter. That's on my mind. Like, whatever's on my mind, I'm brain dumping on day 2. I'm just brain dumping, freeing my mind. Whatever my thoughts are at the moment, just release them. And I promise you, it won't make sense. If you do it right, it won't make sense while you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
But on day 31, when you go back and read day 2, oh man, I was holding on to all of that.
Wow, right.
And it'll start to make sense. Journaling is one of those things where in the moment, it doesn't really have a purpose. You're just freeing yourself. But when you go back to the experience and reflect on the experience, like day 5, when you talk to God for the first time in the process, right? Like, what was I thinking day 1 through 4 that I didn't say to God? And day 5, I just let him have it. You know what I'm saying?
So, wait, hold on, Ken. We can't skip to 5.
I'm sorry.
No, but that's good because I see the line. I see where you're going with it.
Okay.
So, okay, we got the mind. We're clear about that. What about dreams? Day 3 is dreams.
Dreams, you don't necessarily have to be asleep to experience dreaming, right? So when you're writing to your dreams and you're speaking of, you're either writing what your dreams are, you're speaking the truth about the dreams, how scary they may be, how in detail you may get them. But everyone dreams about something. Everyone dreams of becoming something, of being something, of doing something, of empowering something, uplifting something. Everyone has a dream. And I'm not saying be as deep as Martin was, because if you think about his speech, he wasn't even that deep. He was just speaking to the matters of the heart. Look at God, right? So if day 3, you're just speaking to the dreams, speaking to the things that you know that you want to execute, know that you want to be, the things that you thought of, things that you want to experience, and giving life to those things. Like, for instance, one of my dreams is to speak I dream of speaking at a commencement ceremony for a college. Like, that's my, like, one of the things on my dream bucket list is I want to be a commencement speaker at a college graduation. Like
Chadwick Boseman did at his HU.
Yes, but I can never top that. But like, but that's one of my dreams. Like, as a speaker, that's one of my dreams, is to speak life into people who are going into the real world. You know what I'm saying? So day 3, I might want to write to that dream specifically. And it could be me speaking, like writing, okay, I want to reach out to this college. I want to reach out to this university. Okay, maybe I do some practice speeches and post them. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people dream of mental freedom. Some people dream of financial stability. Some people dream of supporting and helping each other. Some people dream of various things. And dreams hold different weights and purposes depending upon the person who harvests them. So you're just writing to those. And there's no, like I said, nothing is designed to be like set in stone. Like, I have to write about a dream or a dream that I had. No, you think of the word dream as it applies to you and just brain dump.
I'm with you. But number 4 is very, 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 what's the word? I think it's, well, I'm just going to say it. Someone you love. Now, my brain goes to, bye, Felicia. You know, not bye, Felicia, but it goes to, like, you know.
But if it's that, then it's that.
What did you mean, though, for someone you love? What are we journaling about day 4, someone you love?
It can be a person of the present. It can be a person of the past. It can be yourself. But someone you love, coming from matters of the heart, some matters of the mind, and then your dreams, someone you love now invites you to the opportunity of sharing a space with the thought of someone, right? For me, that could be my daughter. That could be me remembering my grandmom in that moment. Like, she was one of the, if not the most important person in my life. and is approaching the year mark of her passing, and I don't know how to process that. So if I'm writing to someone I love and I choose to talk about her, I'm speaking of my memory of my grandmother, and I'm talking to her, right? Or if on day 4 I wake up and I want to write about someone I love and my daughter comes to mind, I'm talking about how much she means to me. Or an ex-girlfriend, what that relationship was like for me. You know what I'm saying? Someone I love, a family member, a mentee, a best friend, anybody. It can be anybody. And to write to them in that moment is to invite them into that intricate space, right? And the beauty in that is that you're not physically asking them to hear your thoughts. You're writing to them. Almost as like a secret letter, like a letter to a secret admirer, from a secret admirer, like, hey, best friend, I love you. You don't know how much I love you, but I'm putting it on paper because you'll never read this, right? But yeah, it can be to anyone, someone you love, and you're just inviting them into the space of your healing, and that's what that is. Nothing more than that.
That's really cool. I really like that. Okay, so day 5, dear God. Talk about what we writing to God.
So day 5 is day 1 of 4 spaces in this challenge that we'll use to write to God. And every 5 days is a dear God moment, right?
Wow.
Purposely for the sake of, hey, God, this is what I said day 1 through 4. These are my thoughts. These are my feelings. These are my aspirations. These are my ideas. These are my hurt points. These are my broken places. These are the moments and matters most intricate and intimate to me. Dear God, after you have heard these things, because as we're writing, he's listening, right? Dear God, after you have heard these things, this is what I need from you, right? Dear God, I invite you into this space to clarify some of the things that you have revealed to me days 1 through 4, right? Because he's going, if you do this process correctly and you're telling your most authentic truth to yourself, of yourself, you're unconsciously inviting him into the space of your healing anyway. But when you intentionally speak to him about these matters, you open up a space for him to have conversation with you. And that's what day 5 is going to be. And that's what day 10 is going to be. And that's what day 15 is going to be. And that's what day 20 is going to be. And that's what day 25 is going to be. And that's what the culmination of day 30 will be. All of these moments where you're able to talk to God in a way that invites him more openly and more freely into these spaces of healing for you. And that's exactly what that is. Your dear God will and should look different than mine. I shouldn't be talking to God about the same thing Isaiah is talking to God about, because days 1 through 4 or days 6 through 10, you know what I'm saying? All of those things will look and sound differently, and our experiences will be different in that process. So you're just inviting God into that space more intimately. Hey, after you have heard these things, this is what I need from you.
Kevin, my question to you, if you can be so transparent right now, what does God provide for you that you would invite people to allow him to touch them while they write? Because he's obviously doing something dynamic for you and it's so good that you want to share it. But what is that? What does he do? What does he provide?
He provides a revelation that nothing and no one else could provide. He allows me to see myself in a way that assures me of a certain level of connection that I have in him and why it's important to seek him, right? God often reminds me that I need him more than I think I do, right? He also reminds me that he has shown up for me in ways that nothing and no one else can. And that if at any moment I'm allowing myself to be completely transparent and vulnerable to him, that's when he shows himself the most. So for me, God has provided safety, comfort, protection. He's provided truth. He's provided healing in a lot of ways. But he has just been like the ultimate resource for healing for me. So I know if he has done it for me, then he's more than capable and able and willing to do that for everybody else. And I don't know what everybody's relationship with God is, and I don't need to know that they could benefit from just the simplest connection to him, you know? I don't know if everybody who partake in this journaling challenge desires a relationship with God, but that doesn't rob me of the opportunity of introducing them to that space with him, right? Some people may choose not to write to God. There may be people who believe in a different higher power, and be that as it may. But me, I only know of one, and I only write to one, and I only know of the goodness and the graciousness of one. So I talk to him and I write to him, but I do know that no matter what you believe or who you believe, there's always benefit in speaking to a higher power. And I just invite people into the space to do that.
It's like, I know that you're a life coach. Would you say that God is the ultimate life coach?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, yeah. There would be no external life coaching without the internal life coach. So, like, I couldn't do my job effectively if I didn't tap into him first.
Yeah, everybody got to go somewhere to get poured into. So what are you going to do? You have it all thought out, but we have an extra day in October, and that's Halloween. What are we doing on Halloween, the 31st?
The 31st, you're writing a note to yourself. So after days 1 through 30, and you have written to all of these other things and all these external factors that play a part in your internal being, you're now purposely writing to yourself. And if you're anything like me, that'll be the longest journal entry you have written in the last 31 days. But you're intentionally writing to you on day 31. Speaking to all matters healing. I purposely want people to use that as a moment of speaking power, of speaking thanks, of speaking blessings into themselves, owning the truth of what they've experienced over the last 30 days, and just speaking power into what moves and what happens after you close the journal on day 31. So day 31, you're just writing to yourself, talking to you in a way that you haven't, and allowing that to be your permission slip to close the journal and step into the newness of your healing.
We're doing writing a whole month.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long month.
It is.
At the end of the journey, what is your hope that after all these journal entries that they're thrown to the wall, what sticks? What do you want them to get out of this at the end of the time that they have?
I think the most important lesson to learn in this, or the most important takeaway from this, is the fact that you committed to giving yourself time. You committed to something intimate to you. We oftentimes move through life so freely that we tend to give so much of ourselves to other things and other people, our jobs, our responsibilities outside of ourselves, that we don't necessarily pay ourselves the same respect and give ourselves that time at all. So if you don't get anything out of this, I want you to walk away with the understanding that for 31 days, I paid attention to myself enough to write to the things that matter most to me, right?
You talking. Go ahead. Yeah.
And if you do that effectively, then you've automatically also opened up a window of self-care that you never knew never knew existed. And now you want to spend more time with yourself, and you want to deal with matters of the heart more intimately, more frequently. You want November the 1st to be a new journal challenge. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
At the end of it all, if you don't do or get anything else out of it, I want you to walk away with the understanding that I can pat myself on the back because for 31 days, I paid attention to myself. And I cared enough about myself to pay attention to myself. I love it. I love it.
This is mine, okay? So I'm getting my day one on. I can't wait to begin. Real quick. First of all, this conversation blessed my whole life, and my intention for even having you here is to make sure that we bless everybody that listens to this. And what if you're someone who catches on to this, but it's like October 5th? Can you still jump on?
Oh yeah, if you catch on October 5th, that means your 31 days goes into November.
Okay. All right.
If you catch on October 31st, then your days go until the end of November.
Okay.
But it's something you can pick up wherever you start. But just know your day one starts with matters of the heart. So if you pick up October 5th for those of us who start on October 1st is Dear God. If you pick up on October 5th and that's your first day, your first writing entry is to the matters of the heart.
Mm-hmm. And there is a way that we could tell you, right? Like we could talk to you and let you know like how it's going. Like what's the way that we could reach out and just like be in a place where we can share what the experience has been like?
So there's a platform on Facebook. There's a group called the I Write to You October 31st Journaling Challenge. You can invite yourself to be a part of that group. If you're not on Facebook, I'll give you my email. You can email me daily. If you have my number, you can text me, call me. Instagram, you can post and just let me know how this experience is helping you heal in a way. Most people are deciding to do so daily. You don't have to. What I would ask is that at the end of the challenge, on day 31, that everyone who participates on some platform publicly share how the experience helped them heal. And just to tag me in it. The benefit for me is not just knowing that I created a thing that helped people do some soul searching and to help them heal, but that other people can see the benefits of paying attention to those intimate spaces within yourselves and intentionally taking the journey to heal on purpose. So I don't have any personal gain from this. I don't want anything from it, aside from just knowing that people benefited from it in a great way. So follow the Facebook page, follow me on Facebook or Instagram. If you want or need my email address, I can give that and you could share however you choose to. But yeah, that's the way to get it out there.
Amen. I think that's a great place to land this plane. Mr. Kevin Gold, I want to thank you, my brother. I appreciate this time talking to you and this platform you're providing for others to be healed through the power of the pen. And man, I can't wait to get started. I didn't start my journal entry yet, but it's going down today. It's happening today.
Wait, I can't wait. Just do it on purpose, bro. Be intentional and do it on purpose.
Amen. Yeah, that's all about
That's all that counts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks again, sir. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Keep going strong. God bless your work, man.
God bless you. And I will. And listen, if at any time you're stuck in a crossroad, just refer back to your entries. Just refer back to your entries. When you spend enough time with yourself, you find out a little more about what you're capable of. And then you give yourself the power to own it. So do it on purpose, bro. I believe in you.
I receive that. All right, man. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you. You do the same, bro. Talk to you later.